the interest of time connectivity. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gupta. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for the very kind introduction. And I would like to thank Professor Oja, Dr. Khanna, and the team and the management of IIITDM for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on this very important workshop on healthcare innovations during COVID-19 outbreak. The title of my talk is Healthcare Innovations and Ecosystems, COVID-19 and Beyond. And if you go to the next slide, I'll first share the key aspects which will be covered in this particular lecture. This might be a very basic talk, but I understand that many of participants here are students who are not from the health field or from the medical field. And I thought it might be useful for me to share some basic concepts before I go into deeper issues related to healthcare innovation. So I start off with a very basic concept of health and healthcare, and then healthcare innovations, then innovation life cycle, then ecosystems, what we mean by innovation ecosystems. After that, we will look at what was the pre-COVID-19 situation with respect to these variables. And then we look at what happened during COVID-19, again to these same above 4 variables. And then I'll end with some thoughts on future directions related to healthcare innovations and ecosystems in the Indian context. Next slide, please. So what is health and healthcare? Now, I take the help of the World Health Organization definition here. It says that health is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So this physical, mental, and social well-being could also be considered as the 3 dimensions of health. And then what is healthcare? Healthcare is aimed at maintaining, improving, or correcting the above dimensions through prevention, diagnosis, treatment, or rehabilitation. So these terms are important because we will see later on that healthcare innovations are also used either for prevention, diagnosis, treatment, or rehabilitation. Also, we also need to keep a concept in mind, which is the levels of healthcare. There are 3 levels: primary, secondary, and tertiary. So when I use the word primary, I'm referring to the first level of contact between the patient and the doctor. And it could be a very simple, mild cough, cold, fever type of situation. When I'm talking of secondary level of healthcare, I'm talking of more complex problems which the primary level person or the doctor is unable to handle and gets referred to a secondary level. And when I'm talking of a tertiary level of healthcare, I'm talking of even more complex problems, perhaps which require admissions or surgeries or those kinds of in-hospital procedures. Right? Now, healthcare innovation actually can happen at any of the above levels. That means it can happen either at the primary or the secondary or at the tertiary. Or it can happen at any of the dimensions, which is physical, mental, or social. Or it can happen at multi-level and multi-dimension. So it could be a combination, a permutation combination of all that we have done. Now, before I go into the next slide, I would just like to pause here a minute and reflect that we have been talking of innovation since yesterday afternoon. But let's just think for a moment, what is innovation? I was considering the very beautiful examples which was given yesterday. One which was given by Dr. Hirani in the first talk. He talked of oxygen enrichment technology, which he mentioned was costing around rupees 5 lakhs to establish. And then Dr. Sharma showed us some very nice pictures of various kinds of innovations, of which let us pick one, the plastic sheet for the face shield, right? So we have 2 innovations. We have the oxygen enrichment technology costing 5 lakhs, and a plastic shield for having the face mask, which might cost not more than 50 rupees. Now, what is the commonality between the oxygen enrichment technology innovation and the plastic shield for the fish? Both are innovations, isn't it? Now, if you think about this, if you think about the commonality, you then understand some key attributes of what an innovation consists of. To me, I saw three commonalities, and this can be expanded by the August gathering here. But the first commonality I saw was it was novel. That means